Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host. I'm known as Deshone the Auto Advisor publicly. If this is your first time ever joining a stream or seeing me, I want you to type a 1 in the comments. Welcome to the first time people. Welcome to the first time people. I always like to acknowledge the first time people and let you know what we do here. All we do is focus on teaching you insider strategies to pay less for cars than everyone else is paying. Most people are overpaying for their cars right now. They don't know it, but they're going to complain to you about it. They're going to say, oh, everything's high. Or, oh, man, there's no car deals out here. They're broadcasting this stuff. But we've been getting great car deals. I've been getting them since, I'm from the car business, but I've been helping people get great car deals since 2021. Through the pandemic, there's always a below market. And that's what you have to realize. I don't care what the market's doing. When the market's high, there's a below market price. Market comes down, there's a below market price. There's 3 prices that you can pay for any car. Any car you choose, there's 3 prices. Market value, that's what most people are paying, and that's what people negotiate. Negotiators pay market value. They'll drive down trying to fill for the bottom and try to get the best deal. But then the people who can't negotiate, they pay above market value. They'll pay $3, $4, $10,000 over market value because they think that's what this is my only option. But paying below market value and guaranteeing that you're paying below market value is reserved for the people who get bids. What does that mean? You make dealers compete. When you make dealers compete, you start buying cars like you buy everything else in life. Everything you do in life, most of it, you're actually making people compete for your business. When you go into the grocery store, you don't just walk in and pick up one spaghetti sauce, you look around. You're looking at all the brands. You're looking at all the prices. You do it in a split second. If you needed a television, you don't just walk into Best Buy and pick up the first 80-inch television set you see. You look at Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon. You're looking at tons of sellers in minutes. That's what we do with cars here at Cars From Home. Everything we do is about competition and driving down prices through competition. So this entire show is going to be sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars From Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. You can get a copy as part of my welcome offer to you for 75% off. The book's normally $97. It's worth every penny. You can Google it. It's 5 stars. But as part of my welcome offer, you can get your copy for $24 if you get to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, Facebook, or YouTube links. Click those links and then get there before 30 minutes is up. The welcome offer is for 30 minutes. And everything we'll be talking about over the next, hour or so is going to be out of this book. So start typing your questions and we'll bring them into the show one by one. Now, the reason why you need a process, as we start getting questions, as soon as we start getting questions, Dolan, you can bring in the first question. Until then, I'm going to lay out this 7-step system. The reason why a system is important is because if you don't know where you're at in the process, you're going to be doing things later that you should have done earlier. Give you an example. Most people have taught you should be trading your car in. Don't tell them you have a trade until after you've already went to the dealership, picked out a car, negotiated the car, and then agreed on a price, and then you spring your trade on them. We never do that because what ends up happening is if you bring your trade in late. First of all, you wait all this time. You tie up hours and hours of time, negotiate, and then you talk about your trade in. Now you have literally, what if they don't give you what you want? And then you'll find out in our process, we never trade cars to begin with because that dealer is never going to pay you what a buyer like CarMax or Carvana or Kelly's Blue Book Cash Offer or any of these big buyers who buy cars like thousands of cars a week around this country they buy. So the reason a process is important is it eliminates you needing to think, what do I do next? What do I do first? So you'll see as we, you can bring in the first question, start typing your questions, and we'll get to as many as possible. Go ahead, Dolan, bring in the first question. What's up, Todd Eddington? Larry Young, good to see you. Trey 97, type your car shopping question. Lily, could you please advise on leasing or buying a utility truck? You want to look at depreciation. If you're making a decision right now, cars are depreciating like crazy. You had 3 years of cars not depreciating, cars appreciated. They went up in value. That's never happened before. So we all through the pandemic, people's cars were going up in value. That's why you could buy a car in 2019, sell it in 2021, get all your money back. That's a once in a lifetime deal. Chip shortage. Some of you were in the market at that particular time. It hasn't happened ever. I've been in the car business since 2006. Never saw anything like it. But once I started seeing it, I started telling people, and you see some of my biggest videos on TikTok, 3 million views, 7 million views, 4 million views, was teaching people how to cash out during that run. I sold my lease. I drove my lease for 3 years, 3.5 years. I sold it and got all my money back. I got every dime I paid back, less about $1,200. I sold my Jeep for $10,200. My mother made $10,200 selling her CX-5 lease. And then, I made about $9,200. So we're looking at depreciation when we consider leasing, because you look at cars that are going down in value on a normal basis, but in the short term, you are going to lose if you're buying a car and you're only keeping it 3, 5, 6 years and you're going to replace it, because the cars are going to lose the most value in that time. Even if you buy a used car, some of you may say, oh, I buy a used car so it doesn't depreciate as much. True, but it's still depreciating rapidly until you get to 5, 6 years of ownership where it starts to cool off. So tying up all that money in these cars only to turn around and trade them in and do it all over again is not financially wise. Now, who was taught never lease a car? Let me kind of address, because as soon as you ask this question, Billy, you don't realize you sent a lot of sparks through anyone watching, because they automatically said, well, I'll never lease a car. They don't realize that they're overpaying like crazy because they're taking bad financial advice that's not tied to any numbers. They're listening to people who never explain leasing, never explain numbers, and never understand below market leases. So when you see these commercials that say, come lease this car with $4,000 down plus tax and fees, that's not a below market lease. That's a lease that it's really little to no value. Let me show you an example of what a below market lease is. So look at somebody like Greg. Greg leases a Kia EV6 Wind. It's a $56,000 vehicle. He's paying $527 a month. No money down. So now you might have saw commercials and thought, in order to lease, I got to have money down. All we do is shop for leases with no money down. That's all we do. Look at Taupe. Taupe got her $54,000 BMW, $690 a month. This is normally an $1,100 a month car. A $54,000 car is normally $1,100 a month. So these are below market leases. If you walk in right now and tried to lease any of these vehicles and just went to a dealer and said, hey, give me a lease, your payment's going to be a whole lot higher than what I just showed you. And I'm going to be showing you more lease payments throughout the next 45 minutes so that you can understand. If you walk into a dealer and say, get me here, they're going to say, oh, no, that's ridiculous. You need $3,000 down and this and that, because they're offering you a market value lease or an above market value lease. So the key to understanding leasing versus buying, Billy, is you cannot compare buying. You should only be thinking below market. If I get a below market lease, is it better than a below market purchase for me? And the key to understanding this is how long you're going to keep the car. If you can, I have a rule in my book. It's step 1 in my book. My book is 7 steps. Rule number 1 is the most important question. How many years are you going to keep your next vehicle? If it's not 8, then you should be shopping for a below market lease. It's not even a question, because you're going to pay thousands more than a person who's getting a below market lease over an 8-year period. Now, if you keep your car at least 8 years, you can start to win. But if you're keeping it less than that, a person who's getting below market leases is blowing you away. I leased my first car when I was 22. I went to work for GM, $256 a month, Pontiac G6. My second lease was on an Infiniti G25, $320 want to say it was 320 something a month. It was 2012, so I don't remember it exactly. But then I leased an Infiniti Q50. As soon as it came out, the Q50, beautiful car, 2014. I got it for my wife. It was 340 a month. Want to say around 340. This was a $43,000 vehicle, 44. Then I leased I leased three Q50s in a row, 345, 365. I think my highest payment was like 370. I never paid anywhere close to four. And I'm driving $45,000 vehicles. So I was already convinced, not just because I was in the car business, that leasing was allowed me to drive way better cars than people were driving for a lot less money than they were paying. So it's a matter of how long you're going to keep the vehicle. Now you could ask a couple more questions because you're getting a utility truck. If you're going to beat the truck up and like you're going to be throwing cement in it and doing all types of stuff, then maybe from a financial standpoint, it might be better to buy. You can ask a follow-up question and then we'll go deeper. Go ahead, Dolan. Keep typing your questions, everybody. We're live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you type your questions, we'll try to get to all of them, but you need to type them. What's up, Jess? What's going on, Minty? What's going on, Arthur? Good to see you. Renee, a lot of people tapping into the show. Good to see you. Brian Wynn. When you buy a vehicle, you pay doc fees. I paid a vehicle off and didn't receive the title. I had to pay for the title when I already paid for it in the doc fees. Well, doc fee takes care of administration in the dealership. It has nothing to do with motor vehicle fees. Your motor vehicle fees is what you paid, which would be your registration, your license plate, and your title should be included in that. Usually the only time you're paying a title fee to get the title is if the title was lost. If the title wasn't misplaced, then I can't understand that. You would normally just, because the bank holds the title. So it's literally the bank holds the title. You might get, depending on your state, you might get a copy of the title with a lien holder on it. But the minute the bank's paid off, you get a release letter. The bank should send the title to you, and they shouldn't be charging you for that. So but listen, banks are not your friends. You know, you're too trusting. I've been in the business long enough to not trust car dealers. I've worked next to wolves and sharks. The problem is you trust car salesmen and banks. You think they're your friends. Yeah, I was at the gym the other day. Hey, I went to my Lexus deal. A guy that sees me all the time. He knows me from, social media, but he also knows we work out together. And he was like, yeah, I went to my Lexus deal. I said, you own a Lexus dealer? He said, what you mean? I said, you said you went to your Lexus dealer. Oh, no. Oh, no, I went to the one I bought the car from. That's what they want you to think. Come on in thinking this is your Lexus dealer. Come on, we're your friends. These people are not your friends. So we trust but verify. But I don't know why they charge you for the title. I've never had. I can't give you an answer for that. And you already paid for it. So go ahead, Dolan. See if we got any more. Oh, they said it's a digital title. Okay. Well, you're gonna have to. You know what, Dolan? Hit me in the chat, Dolan. And if you need anything, if you ever hit me in the chat, Dolan, because I see we got a lot of people on, but we don't have a lot of questions coming in. So, I can't look. I can volunteer. Look, here's one thing I can say about what I do here. You don't know what you're doing wrong. And I think that's why when we come on here, what I try to let you know, like I do a class, I stopped doing it, but I did it for 3 years, called Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. We put over 30, we had to put about 30,000 people through that class in 3 years. And they came and they found out every mistake they were doing wrong. And they were just blown, by the end of the class, they were blown away. See, I'm just realizing this as I'm on this stream. You don't know what questions you should be asking. In fact, my first book, you can Google it to this day. It's not available, but it's called The 52 Car Buying Questions Smart People Don't Ask That Cost Them Thousands. To this day, that book has hundreds of 5-star reviews because I'm sitting up here and I'm saying to myself, and this is something that, I'm going to talk about with my team. people don't know what they should be asking. That's why I typically come and I just start teaching and telling you this is the mistake. This is a mistake. You know what? Why don't we do that? Let's do that. Let me pull up this. Let's do something a little different, because I realized that years ago. That's why I wrote the book. Let me see. Hold on one second. We're gonna do something a little different today. And Dolan, if you do get questions, we'll get them in, because I know we're on 4 platforms. But let's do something a little different here with this. Okay. I'll go to some slides here. All right. Check this out. All right, give me a second. But those of you who are tuned in today, you're going to get a little treat. You're going to get a little treat. Let's see. Everybody who's going to spend some time with us, I want you to start lighting up the screen, lighting up the likes, hit the like button, share button. This is a class. We're getting ready to do something. All right, Dolan doesn't even know we're about to do this, but let's do this like this. Check this out. All right, this is the class that over 30,000 people went through, and we can do it like this. I actually want to start. This is everything you're doing wrong: buying, selling, and leasing cars. And let's go. It's a little gift. Nope, the old version. Wait, be patient. Patience is a virtue. Because I updated this class several times. But hold on, just give me 1 second. There we go, July. All right. When leasing a car, how should I go about negotiating a deal that suits me? Bids. You want to do it your way? Call, get 5 bids from 5 different dealers. You're going to see they're all different prices. All different prices. If you want to, I'm going to lease a Nissan Altima. You talk to 5 dealers. You want to do it your way. You want to talk to people, call 5 dealers, get 5 different prices. You want to do it my way? We have a process. It's all email. You use my scripts. We email 25 dealers to get 5 prices. Everyone who you're going to see that we've worked with has always gotten at least 5 prices before they make a deal. But let's go here. Let's have a little fun today. Hold on. And I'm going to zip through this. But all right, here we go. Can everybody see my screen? I want you to type yes. Let me know ones in the chat if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Ones in the chat. Can you see? Oh my goodness, we can't. TikTok, you can't see this. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. All right, check this out. Because we do these lives a lot, and I need every now and then we got to change the flavor a little bit. Hold on. I can't do a widescreen like. I'm trying to give you guys the experience, but hold on, Miss Lanice, I know I need a tripod for you guys. TikTok, we do the most for you. Hold on, listen, we do the most for you. Hang on, Dolan. We're gonna switch this up. I know we didn't plan this, but because people don't know what questions they need to be asking, we're gonna do something a little different. All right. Those who want to learn, stay on the line. If you're impatient, you could jump off. I'm not here to twist anybody's arm to stay with us. I don't care if it's 5 people that stay on. The 5 people will get a treat. I can only help who I'm destined to help. I can't. So those who stay on, you'll win. Those who don't, God bless you. Figure something else out. But let's go here. Now, this will not be a live that we ever repeat, most likely. All right. I'm making me work today, boy. All right. Get all of this set up. All right, I'm restarting TikTok. Anybody who wants to jump back on, jump back on. I'm restarting this, and then we're gonna start this class. So I'll see y'all in 1 second. Serious people, I'll see y'all in 1 second. All right, Dolan. We're gonna start. Let me restart TikTok. That way we can we can do what we do. And I'm actually gonna name this car shopping class. Okay. We did all of this for TikTok, so shout out to. Okay. Welcome. We're back. We're back. I just got you guys set up to do this class we're about to do. We're doing a live class. This is everything you're doing wrong, buying, selling, and leasing cars. I have my man Dolan moderating in the background. You guys know we do these streams throughout the week, but we're doing something a little different today that a lot of people are going to get value out of. And let me just give you guys, there you go. So TikTok can see. Now let's start. Okay, so everybody share this with your friend. You are going to want to share this with your friend. Tag your best friend in here. Let's get this going. So everything you're doing wrong, buying, selling, leasing cars. This is based on my experience in the car business since 2006. We don't need to do a check-in. Let's just get right to it. We're not going to discuss Turo, rideshare, any of that right now. I just want to give you the mistakes you're making. We're about to go over a lot of mistakes that people that you don't know you're making. Okay, so let's get to mistake number 1. Straight up. Oh, this is just a little bit about me. Some of you may not know. I spent 14 years in the car business with Mercedes. I made, good amount of money, 6-figure car salesman. I'm not the and without me being in the car business, I would be just like you guys, paying more than market value, not knowing how to get great deals. This was old. At that point, I think we had about 1.7 million followers. Now we're up to 2.3 million. Just a bunch of people that we've helped, little bit bunch of people we helped. But let's get to the first mistake. First mistake is you don't understand when to buy and when to lease. I want to play a game with you guys called Who's Winning. You're about to learn the 8-year rule. The 8-year rule exercise, it's very simple. Now, I need you to stay next to your keyboard. Everybody who's ready to play this is a financial literacy game that you'll never forget. I want you to type 1. Just type a 1. Type a 1. Type a 1. Shout out to, let me see the engaged people. Type a 1. Type a 1. Type a 1. All right. Stay next to your keyboard. This is going to be a dialogue. You're going to get the most out of what we're about to do. Dialoguing. All right. All right. I see you, Mike Ferguson. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So now let's take this scenario right here. Now we're comparing 2 deals. We're comparing we're comparing a lease and a buy. This is the big mistake right here. This is the first mistake that you're making, not knowing when to buy and when to lease. So the 8-year rule exercise is going to make it very clear for you. Right here, We have a leaser right here. We have a buyer. The exact same vehicle. They're both getting a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let's say the MSRP is $40,000, $3,000 in taxes and fees. The leaser gets a $500 a month, no money down lease, which we do all the time. We showed you a little bit of that earlier in this show. We'll show you a lot more. The buyer, the same exact car on a 6-year loan with a low interest rate, which no one is getting right now, is paying $675 a month. Who's winning? Lease or buy? Type L or B. In this scenario, so far, this buyer did a no money down deal, 3.99 loan. They're paying $675. The leaser's paying $500. Who's winning? L or B? L or B? Come on, I need y'all typing fast. Let's go. Come on, I need y'all typing fast. Thank you, Desmond. Okay, I see you. No, Ami, how's the B winning, Ami? How's the B winning? These people are driving the exact same car, but the leaser is paying $175 per month less. Who's winning? See, this is and again, those of you who are typing B, I really need you to sit up. I really need you to sit up. Two people. One person is driving. These are the exact same cars. You're two people in the dealership at the same exact time. They drive off in the exact same car. One person is paying $675. One person's paying $500. All right. I see a bunch of L. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you, C. Harris. All right. Thank you, Lenise. Okay. Lease. Now, so far, leaser's winning. Now, let's continue. 3 years later, the buyer wants to trade in. This is for you guys who you buy your cars. 3 years down the road, you want to turn around and trade them in. This is the scenario. We're going down the road. Remember, this is the 8-year rule exercise. I'm showing you that one of the mistakes you make is you don't know when to buy and when to lease. No, it doesn't depend on when. Eric, we haven't gotten there yet. It doesn't depend on how many miles you drive. We are simply talking about two people who drive off the dealership in a car, the same car, and one person is paying $175 a month less than them. You're overthinking. That's it. Well, we'll get to mileage. We'll get there, but let's lock in. 3 years down the road, the buyer wants to replace their car. Now, based on this loan that I just laid out for you guys, based on this 6-year loan with a low interest rate that no one is getting, not many people are paying $399. This is the scenario. The buyer is going to owe $23,000, $23,400 when they get out of this, when they want to get out of this vehicle in 3 years. Now, a $40,000 vehicle, is it fair to say that the value of a $40,000 vehicle after 3 years would be about $24,000? Is that fair? Type fair if that's fair. Type fair. $40,000 vehicle, brand new, 3 years old. You want to trade it? You want to sell it? Let's say we could get $24,000 for it. Is that fair? Type fair. Type fair. Let's go. Shout out to the people. I see you. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank y'all for hitting those likes on TikTok. Thank y'all for running those likes up. Now, so the buyer wants to get out. Now, if the buyer wants to get out, you have $24,000. Listen, the buyer owes $23,400. Their car's only worth $24,000. How much are they making? Look how much the buyer paid. The lease person is $175 per month richer. If you were the leaser, you're $175 per month richer, $2,100 a year richer than the person who bought. Look, so now in this same scenario, this is what the buyer needs to catch up. The buyer must make $6,300 to be able to break even to what the lease person paid. If the buyer does not make $6,300, they overpaid, they paid more than the leaser. But in this scenario, we just all agreed that a fair market value for that car would be $24,000. The buyer's only going to make $600 when they sell the car. And this is why you go to trade your car in 3-4 years, you're never happy with what they're giving you. You're never happy. Oh, my car's only worth that, because you know you paid all of this money. So in this scenario, who won so far? B or L, the buyer or leaser? After 3 years, who's won? Buyer or leaser? B or L? Come on, I need y'all to treat me. See, when we did this class, we do these classes, people engage. We get people engaged. I know it's probably, depending on what time it is, you might like Deshone. I didn't know I was about to do a car buying class. Well, you're doing one. So let's lock in so that you can protect your money, because it's a lot of people out here that want to take your money, and we want to make sure that that money stays in your bank account. Okay, so far, 3 years down the road, leaser's winning. Everybody's typing L. We can see the lease is winning. So now, what if the buyer had an accident? If the buyer had an accident, is that car worth $24,000? When they go to replace it in 3 years, is that car worth $24,000? No. They'd be lucky if they get $21,500. So now they're in a negative equity situation. Not only are they not going to make their $600 when they trade it, they're going to have negative equity. So if a buyer wants a new car, they have to pay the difference or carry that $1,900 negative equity over to their next car, which is what a lot of people do. A lot of people will literally keep rolling negative equity from one car to the next car, negative equity from one car to the next car. This is why I can help you get out of negative equity, but if you don't understand the cause, you're going to always be in negative equity. The cause is you should be leasing, but you continue to buy. So every time you take a negative equity situation, look at this line. You are literally paying for your old car in your new car. That's the formula for negative equity. You buy cars and you trade them in. Now, let's say the buyer says, nah, I don't want to, I'm going to just keep my car a little longer. Now, after 3 years, check this out. The leaser upgrades. The leaser upgrades, goes get the 2027 version. Full warranty, $500 per month. Leasing, see, the thing about leasing, I told y'all what I paid for my Infinities. I laid out my Infinity leases that I got from 2012 to 2018. I got 3 vehicles. The payments didn't change much. The payments changed about $40 from the first one to the last one I got. Leasing is going to be about the same because below market deals continue to be about the same. So the person who's leasing, they're going to upgrade. Right when their warranty was about to expire, they go to upgrade. Now look at the buyer. The buyer, 3 more years of payments at $675. The vehicle is 3 years old. Warranty expired. We're not talking about buying an extended warranty and putting more money into the car. I'm talking just apples to apples, no money down deals. Neither one of these people are putting more money into their car. The warranty has expired. That means the buyer is on their own. Let's continue. Now, after 6 years, because remember, I'm going to take you down 8 years. What you're learning right now is the 8-year rule. This is how I created in my book. Literally, as soon as you get my book, you open it up. Step 1 is the 8-year rule, which is helping you know when you should buy and when you should lease. The 8-year rule journey is what I'm taking you through, and this is how I created it. So now we look after 6 years. Let's look at the situation after 6 years. The leaser is now finishing their second lease. They're ready to upgrade to the 2030. Again, full warranty. Now the buyer has a paid off vehicle at this point. 6 years old, was originally $40,000, but look where their financial position is. They are $12,600 poorer than the leaser in payments alone. Just in payments alone. Now we look and we say maintenance, tires and brakes. Let's say over 6 years, they got to replace tires twice, maybe brakes twice. Let's give it about $2,000 in maintenance over a 6-year period. $14,600 poorer. Who's winning so far? Type L or B. For those of you who just jumped on, we're going over when you should lease and when you should buy. You're learning the 8-year rule. People are engaged. Who's won so far? We're up to year 6. Leaser or the buyer? L or B? L or B? Yep, I see you, Desmond. L. Yep, I see you. Who's won so far? Let's go. Everybody, I see you, Michael Coleman. L. John Miziak, I see you. L. Okay, everyone's clear. Mike Ferguson, I see you. L. So up until 6 years, with two people driving off in the same exact car, the leaser has won if they got a below market lease. And watch this. Remember this, y'all. What's the interest rate I use for that buyer scenario? 3.99, which means I'm being very, very conservative, meaning we're being super conservative. If this buyer had a 7% interest rate, like most people, these losses would be a whole lot more. So now, this buyer now needs to, let's say this buyer says, all right, I'm ready to sell my car now. I'm ready to get a new one. I paid off this thing. I just spent 6 years making these $675 payments. Now let me go and do it all over again. Let me sell it. In order for them to break even, they need to get $14,600. Now, a 6-year-old Jeep Grand Cherokee that was originally $40,000, that has 70,000 miles on it. Do we think that we think they could get 14.6? We think they could get 14.6? I think so. I think if they didn't have too many accidents, I think 14.6 might be, what would you pay for a 6-year-old Jeep with 70,000 miles? You know what I'm saying? You might pay like, all right, 18,000, 6 years old. That's like you going out right now and buying a 2018 Jeep with 70,000 miles on it. You're not gonna pay 20 grand for that. So maybe he can break even. Look, Michael said, 12.5. That's not unrealistic, Michael. Because now what we're doing is, look what we're doing, which is a bad position to be in. We're hoping we can get 14.6 to break even. But the important part to understand is even if you get the 14.6, look what you drove and look what they drove. So, okay, let's move on a little bit more. Let's go down. Let's bring it a little bit more. Let's say they get 14. If they had 2 accidents, you're going to be right where Michael said. You're not getting 14. They're going to get 12. Now they paid. Not only did they not drive a quality vehicle like the leaser, they actually paid more for that privilege of driving a worse vehicle with no warranty and doing the maintenance and all of this stuff, so that the leaser didn't have to do. So, and like I said, this is right where many people sell this vehicle and go right back into another 5 or 6 year loan and do the entire thing all over again. All right. Now, so if you were the leaser, let's summarize this. You paid less every month. After 3 years, you drove the better car for less money. You were always under warranty. And we're not even going to talk about if you invested that surplus money into a mutual fund, because people say, oh, well, people who lease are not into like investing and like saving for. No, look, if I'm paying $100, $200, $300 a month less than you, I can use that money to actually put it into the stock market and gain something versus having that money in my vehicle and miss those years to be able to invest. So now, if you were the person who leased, well, that's an interesting scenario, because in my class, listen, we put 30,000 people through this class in 3 years. I get into finances, so I show them what if they invested it, what would the gains be. So we'll skip that part. All right, so now let's talk about when do things really change. Deshone, is there a point when the buyer starts to win? Yes, there is. If the buyer kept the vehicle one more year in this scenario, the leaser is going to pay an additional $6,000 because the leaser always has a payment. And this is going to give the buyer time to catch up. Even though the buyer has no payment, that 7th year, it could be a toss-up. That, because again, you've paid so much money, that 7th year is going to be a toss-up if you're going to break even. That's why it's the 8-year rule. When you get to year 8, when you get to your 8th year of ownership as a buyer, you come out ahead. Even with the maintenance, you come out ahead. So the 8-year rule says if you don't keep a vehicle at least 8 years, you want the least amount of money coming out of your bank account, you lease. We're clear on this? This is a new car versus lease scenario. Clear? 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 Type clear if you're clear. Type clear if you're clear. Okay? Type clear if you're clear. Now, check this out. Everything that you're learning is inside my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's normally $97. This is just step 1. The leasing versus buying is step one. My book is normally $97. It's 5 stars. You can get a copy of it by going to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, and you'll get my welcome offer, which is 75% off, but it's only for 30 minutes. If you visited the site and that timer started ticking, once it gets to 0, the book is $97. So if you don't want to worry about learning any of this, or you want to avoid all of these mistakes I'm going to be going over for the next couple minutes, go grab your copy, come back to the stream before that timer hits 0. Again, in my TikTok bio, the Instagram bio, Dolan posts a comment in the YouTube and the Facebook comments. Go grab your book. It'll be in your inbox by the time we finish class, and you'll have my blueprint for getting below market leases, purchases, new cars, used cars that you can use for over and over and over and over again. Okay? Go get your book. Let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the class. So when people ask me, Deshone, where'd you come up with the 8-year rule? Now you know. It's based on math. It's based on depreciation. It's based on resale value. Okay? Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, so let's continue to go there. And then again, this is the goal. If your goal is to keep your next car between 8 and 20 years, who has a vehicle that they've had for more than 8 years? Type the number of years you've had it into the chat. Because people might be like, Deshone, nobody's keeping a vehicle 12 years anymore. Listen, you're about to find out. Look at the chat. I guarantee you, you're going to see some people in here that got vehicles 10 years, 12 years. Sometimes we get people 16 years. Again, you're just realizing, Deshone, that ain't me. And that's fine. Look, Shay has her vehicle 22 years. Look, Enrique, 13 years. Melanie, 11 years. Look, Desmond, 9 years. Michael Coleman, 10 years. I see. Look, so understand that if you're on this side, when you are talking to your family, your spouse, yourself, your child, and you're like, okay, what's the first thing we need to decide? How long are you keeping in that car? But realize your values are not your children's values necessarily. When you ask your child, hey, we're going to get you a car, how many years you want to keep it? Some children, long term, I keep it till the wheels fall off. They're like you. Fine. You buy it. But if they're not good, I'll probably keep it a couple years, 3, 4, 5 years, then you should be leasing. Tons of people buy their kid their first car, pay $400 or $500 a month, when they could literally, instead of paying $400 or $500 a month, they could be like, just got a $365 a month lease. And I had a friend tell me this. He was like, Deshone, after I learned this, my father bought me my first car, and I was literally like 20, and I was paying $450, almost $500 a month. He would help me with the payment, but it was more money than I really wanted to spend. I should have, and he's like, you should have, hold on, let me see. Look, right here, India, use our system. She used the stuff in the book that you're going to learn in my book on how we get bids for leases. She gets a Hyundai Elantra Limited that has the leathers, has the bells, look, $365 a month, no money down. So your first car could have been that instead of it being a used car. So that's why this is the rules. All right, let's continue. So now, mistake number 2, because that was only mistake number 1, thinking they limit you on mileage. With a lease, you pick the mileage. They don't pick it for you. These are the lease mileage options. 5,000 miles per year on exotic cars and super luxury cars, Bentley, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Usually they have an ultra low mileage lease, 7,500 miles per year on some luxury brands. And more people are offering low mileage options now, not just some luxury brands, but 10,000 miles per year are most brands. 12,000 miles per year, pretty much all brands. 15,000 miles per year, all brands. Up to 30,000 miles per year, most brands. You pick this. So whenever you hear somebody that leased a vehicle and they said to you, well, I leased, but they limit, they tell you how much you could drive. It's just not true. That's a myth. Now, whether the salesman told them that or whether they just assumed that was that's a myth. You pick the mileage. So now, when you hear people say this, you now have my permission. Tell them that, hey, that was a myth. You heard wrong. Or, they were a payment buyer. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, mistake 3 is thinking you could drive as many miles as you want without paying because you bought the car. thinking that, oh, you know, Deshone, I like to buy my cars. I want to drive as much as I want to drive. I don't want to pay for the mileage. You will not escape depreciation. You are paying. Let me show you how. All right. And everybody who's enjoying this, I want you to type $signs, and then I want you to hit the share button and share this with somebody who needs to hear this, because your friends are out there right now going to dealerships, not knowing this stuff and overpaying for cars. So shout out to the sharers. I appreciate you. I see you. All right. And your best friend's going to be mad when they find out you learning all this, and then they come to you in a month and tell you, man, God, I just got this horrible car deal. And they're, oh, you don't know Deshone? You should have followed this guy, Deshone. And they're going to ask you, well, how long did you know about him? Why didn't you tell me about him? So, all right. So now let's go to some high mileage scenarios to the people who like, oh, well, I want to drive as much as I want to drive. All right, let's take this scenario. We're still in a lease versus buy. $750 a month for a high mileage lease. So instead of that old $500 payment, we're just going to assume, and it's not usually that much, that this person went from a 12,000 mile a year lease at $500. They're going to pay $250 more per month because they want to drive $30,000 a month. I mean, 30,000 miles a year, rather. So high mileage lease, $750. Now, the buyer, it doesn't change. Their scenario is the same. $675 per month. They still got the same 6-year loan, no money down. Now who's winning? Now who's winning? See, this is all about looking in the short term, and then we go down the road. In the short term, who's winning here? L or B, lease or buyer? Payment-wise, who's winning? Two people drive off in the same car. Buyer's paying $675 at that interest rate. Leasers, high mileage lease, $30,000, paying $750 a month. Who's winning, L or B? Yep, Michael Cole. Yep, B. I see you, MTB. All right, I love y'all. I see y'all, man, locked in. Let's go. So B is winning. The buyer is winning at this particular time. The buyer's winning. He's paying less, or she's paying less, driving down the road, driving, lots of miles, thinking, okay, I'm winning. All right, cool. Let's continue. In this scenario, let's go down the road a little bit. Does the buyer really win? Well, the buyer is $2,700 richer than the person who leases. At the end, let's look at, remember, after 3 years, the loan balance on that buy is $23,400. So if this buyer wants to trade this car in, this is where you high mileage drivers who drive 18,000, 20,000, 25,000, but you buy your cars and then you want to replace them in 3 years. This is where you get slaughtered. I'm going to show you right here. 2027, let's say the buyer says, man, all right, I've been driving this, man. I want to get rid of it before it hits 100,000. Now, what is this vehicle that is 3 years old with 90,000 miles worth? We already said earlier that with regular miles, it would be worth about 24,000. That's 36,000 miles. It'd be worth about 24. Is it fair to say 90,000 miles on a 3-year-old vehicle, be lucky to get about 15? And again, think about what you would pay for it. Think about what you would pay. A person comes up, 3-year-old Jeep Grand Cherokee, 90,000 miles on it. Yeah, it was 40,000 brand new, but that car should have about 36,000 on it. It has 90,000 on it. Was it fair to say? Yep, fair to say about 15. Okay, perfect, 15. Now they owe 23. So when you go to replace it, yeah, you look like you had won $2,700 richer. You got $8,400 of negative equity. That's where you lose. See, you didn't win. You just pushed all of your losses to the back. That's all you did. You're $5,700 poorer than the person who leased. Look. So, okay, before we go to the next mistake, let me show you an example about how easy it is to add a little more mileage to your lease deals. Very simple. Look at Jen. Jen leased. She got her Honda CR-V hybrid. She used our system, everything you'll learn in my book on how to get bids for leases, to get below market leases. She gets her $39,000 CR-V, $512 a month, no money down. That's what's called a 1.3% lease. Her payment is 1.3% of the MSRP. Now, she then upgraded to the 18,000 miles per year for $563. Literally, she went from 512 to 563, $50. She's able to drive instead of 12,000. Instead of 12,000, she's able to drive 15,000. Hang on one second. Hold on, let me let my wife see, because nobody can call me unless it's my wife, and she doesn't know I'm live. So hold on. All right. So thinking you can drive as many miles as you want because you buy, in the long term, you're fine. But in the short term, you lose. Okay? Are we clear on this? Is everybody clear? Now, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna wrap up this with a used car scenario. See, that's what we're gonna do next. But before we move to this last scenario, is everybody clear that the buyer in the short term wins on a high mileage scenario in a lot of cases because their payment doesn't change? But the buyer in a high mileage scenario, the more you drive, the faster you're depreciating your car. So when you go to replace it, now you're going to eat those losses because your car is worthless. You've destroyed the value of your car. And that's true. That if there's no accidents, that's a great point. We haven't even taken into account if there's accidents. See, with a lease, you have an accident, send it through your insurance company. They fix it. You drive that thing, you can have 3 accidents in a lease, and just, hey, so as long as you send it through your insurance, you drop that thing off after 3 years, you're not invested financially in the car. That is the big deal. Okay? Again, everything we're discussing before we hit this last scenario, which is the used car. See, what this really is, because I can't go over 23 mistakes. I can't give you guys, I'm just saying it, especially with the format, I can't give you the 23 mistakes. Maybe next time we jump on, we'll continue with the mistakes. But what you're learning is we're doing the 8-year rule exercise. Okay? Right now, you're learning something that God had me create 3-4 years ago that has helped everyone who uses it to understand leasing versus buying very simply. The 8-year rule. That's why when you get my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships, you get to step 1. Step 7 is delivery. So just to give you an idea, I'm walking you through a 7-step process of how to get cars. By the time you get to step 7, it's literally delivery. But step 1 is this step. You must choose 8-year rule. Are you keeping this next car 8 years or not? If you are, we're going to buy. If you're not, we're going to shop for a lease. Okay? All right. I see everybody's clear. All right. Now, let's go to you. I know some of you, Deshone, I only buy used cars, though. So, I'm not going to ever buy a new car. Who's been taught that? Type the letter U. If you only buy used cars, you would never buy a new car. So these scenarios, that comparison we just laid out wouldn't apply to you because you're like, Deshone, I only buy used cars. I learned that from Dave Ramsey. All right, all right, let's handle this. So now let's go to mistake number 4. Buying a used car and breaking the 8-year rule. So I'm buying a used car, but I'm buying it to keep. I'm not buying it to keep it long term. I'm just gonna drive it a couple years, 5, 6 years, 7 years, and then I'm gonna swap it out and do it again. Cool. Let's look at this scenario. So again, regular lease, below market lease, $500 per month, no money down, brand new price, $40,000. Now let's look at a 3-year-old version. 3-year-old version, 26,000 miles. Is it fair to say, and I think when I was doing this, it was 2020. So that, let's say it would be about 2021 right now. I think this is my old slide. I didn't pull this up. But anyway, let's look. The point is, let's take a 3-year-old vehicle. Let's pretend this is a 2021. Right now we're in 2024. 36,000 miles. Now, Jeep has a 3-year warranty. So unless you're getting a certified vehicle, there's no warranty on a 3-year-old Jeep. There's no bumper-to-bumper warranty. So we're using apples to apples here. Let's say, that you pay $26,000 for it. Is that a fair price? Brand new 40. You buy a good 3-year-old one, about 26. Financing that on a 5-year loan, you'd be at $550 a month. You have $550 a month on a 5-year loan. Now, check this out. At this particular time, who's winning? $550 a month for a 3-year-old Jeep with 36,000 miles and potentially no warranty, or $500 a month on a brand new Jeep, $40,000 vehicle, full warranty? Who's winning? Lease or buy? L or B? This is the used car scenario. Used car scenario. Who's winning? 3-year-old Jeep, $550 a month, brand new lease. Who's winning? L or B? L or B? All right, I see you, Gretchen. L. All right, I see you. MTL, Renee. L. Desmond. L. All right. Everybody's following it. And this is why we've been able to have 30,000 people go through this class, enjoy it, learn a lot. Most people, especially when I'm going to give y'all a preview of the other mistakes, but maybe we'll hit on those on another stream. But people will come and they will be like, man, I've been making a lot of mistakes, but this is what we need. You can't move to, again, and I wouldn't know this stuff without me being up in the car business since 2006. So don't think, oh man, shoot, I've been messing up. Yeah, but it's $1 billion industry that programs you to mess up and doesn't teach you. Like when you're buying a house, you have realtors and trained people with licenses and all of that. This is not that industry. So I don't want you to beat yourself up, but if you continue now through 2 years from now, if you're still making the same mistakes, you're not taking any action to change your situation, you haven't applied anything that I've taught you, then you can, heck yeah, I'm beating you up. How long you been following me? How long you been getting this information and not applying it? So, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take action today, and we're never going to make these mistakes again. Not when it comes to this leasing versus buying. All right, so right now the lease is winning. So after 6 years, let's look at the scenario. $500 a month. The leaser is about to upgrade to a 2030 version. 2030. So they're about to be to their third lease vehicle, brand new, paying their $500 a month, driving brand new cars, hassle-free. Now, the buyer has a paid off 9-year-old vehicle. It had 36,000 on it, 36,000 miles when they bought it. Now, we literally have let's say at 12,000 miles per year, that vehicle would now have 106,000 miles and it's 9 years old. $3,600 poorer in payments. They paid $3,600 more to drive an older vehicle with no warranty. After keeping it that long in an older vehicle, we're going to give it about $4,000 in maintenance. And that's just, again, brakes and tires. Let's just not even assume things go wrong. See, I know you're probably thinking, well, Deshone, something breaks. You being real generous. Yes, I am. Because I don't want people to think, oh, he's gearing us toward this. No, I'm just saying maintenance, tires, and brakes replaced twice. $4,000. $7,600 poorer than the leaser. $7,600 poorer, and you drove a worse vehicle. Now, the buyer needs $7,600 to break even. Will they get it? 9-year-old truck, 106,000 miles, no warranty. Maybe they'll get it. Maybe they'll get 10 grand. Maybe they'll get 3 grand. Maybe they'll get it. They need 7,600 just to break even. What would this vehicle sell for? Maybe 76. Maybe they'll retail it, sell it private party. Maybe they get it. But here's the point. If they don't get it, then what? They must get it. They must get it. And that's just to break even on price. That's not considering the fact they drove an older car. Just to break even in price, they got to get that much money for this vehicle. Okay? So what did you drive for the same money? Old vehicle, 5 years with no warranty, same money. If they can get it. This is the point. Don't break the 8-year rule. Numbers do not lie. No more. Listen, from now on, there's no more, hey, should I buy, should I lease? This is the anchor. Okay? Now you can have both in your household. Me and my wife, I would always get a lease vehicle for her. And then I always kept my vehicle for 7, 8 years. And then I stuck because I would buy older vehicles. And then before I learned the 8-year rule, I would keep them by Pontiac. I had about 7 years. Then I sold it to a friend. So I would normally buy, and I bought a Mercedes, used Mercedes that I was going to keep forever, but then it got totaled. So there are situations where things happen and you do plan on keeping a vehicle, but you can't. But when we're buying, we are keeping, and you can have a person lease. So type got it if you got it. Type got it. Type got it if you got it. Type got it in the chat if you got it. Okay? Now, I want to be clear. These are not all the mistakes. You got the 3 pillars of great car deals. Look, you don't, who you buy your car from, second pillar. Who you get your loan from, third pillar. Who you sell your old car to. That's mistakes 5 through 7. Then you got, look, look, we separate these. That's mistakes 5 through 7, 3 pillars. And then look, who you gonna, hold on, mistake 9, shopping with down payments. Big mistake. See, I don't want to go over this because we will literally be on this for a long time. And we just, you know, and I just didn't plan on, had I planned on, you know, breaking out maybe an hour and a half to do this, then we could do it. But these are the mistakes. Now, how could you avoid these mistakes? Very simple. Grab my new digital book, Car Shopping for, this is car shopping for people that hate car shopping. But look, hold on, buying your lease out. Look, buying your lease out. Most leases are 3 years. 4-year leases are horrible. We do not do 4-year leases. Lease buyout loans for lower payment. For most people who want to buy their lease, they're going to take a loan out. And the reason they want to take a loan out, they want a similar payment. So if they were paying $500 a month on the lease, they want to pay $500 a month or less when they buy. So they take a 6-year loan. What they end up doing is 9 years. Look, 3 years to lease, 6 years to buy, 9 years, 108 months they're paying on the same exact vehicle. And listen, so let's go more. Look, being a payment shopper, these are all mistakes that we were going over in this class. Taking loans that are too long. In my book, I have something called the rule of 72 on the 10th birthday. Look, you should not, a 3-year-old car, your goal should be to pay off the car before it turns 10. That's when things go wrong. That's when you should be putting money to the side for maintenance and upkeep. But if you still have a car payment, you are going to be in trouble and you're taking a lot of risk. So I can't tell you, most of the people who have horrible car experiences, car broke down, they still owe the bank, transmissions out, they still have a payment due, but they can't they can't drive it. This is how they get repos. And this is a huge mistake that a lot of people make. You know, and then we have not knowing how to get rebates, not knowing how to find the best price dealers. You want to negotiate fake fees. Deshone, what about all these dealers that have fake fees? How do I negotiate them? You don't buy from them. You buy from their competition, who not only don't they have fake fees, they actually discount cars. You don't negotiate with someone who has $4,000 or $5,000 of fake fees, because now they're going to take off the 5. You think you won, good, I got them to take off all the fake fees. But you didn't realize another dealer would have taken off not just the $2,000-$3,000, maybe more. So again, these are the mistakes that literally you will avoid. But now let's go. Rebates, finding rebates. There's all types of rebates too. There's conquest rebates on new cars, loyalty rebates for leases, customer cash, lease cash, military rebate. How do you get these? By making people bid. You can't walk into a dealer and say, hey, do y'all have a conquest rebate? How much is it? They could lie to you. No, we don't have one. But, you know, listen, where are you looking to pay? People don't know how to get the rebates. And look, I remember I sold the Maybach when I was at Mercedes-Benz. You may know it as Maybach. The vehicle had a $20,000 rebate. A $20,000 rebate. Deshone, is it rebates that big? Well, let me give you an example. Look at Sean. Sean got an F-150 Lightning. Look, shopped around, used our system, used the same things you're going to be using in my book in the step-by-step process. $73,000 vehicle, $15,500 rebate. Now, he didn't just he couldn't walk into a dealer and get that deal. He stayed at home. He got multiple bids, and the best dealer literally not just gave him the $15,500 rebate, took off another $4,990 for him. Give you another scenario. So you don't think, look, Milligan got a Mercedes just a couple days ago, $79,000, and I know I can't zoom in on that, $79,000 vehicle that she literally got for, hold on, let me show you this. TikTok, you can't see this. Look at this. $79,000 vehicle, you can see right here. Look at the rebate. Look at the discount. She got a $20,000 discount, $7,500 rebate. So some people walk in that they want to buy electric cars. Deshone, I want to buy an electric car because I want to get that rebate money. Yeah, when you think about the rebate money, what about the discount? What about the discount? That market is soft. The electric car market's very soft. We got people getting 8, 9, 10,000, 15,000 off the price. So this is the stuff that you don't know how to get. These are the mistakes you're making. And then we wrap up here. Let me wrap up, because even in the class, I couldn't go over all the mistakes. So I kind of did a summary of it. Returning your leases instead of selling them. Deshone, we're selling leases. What do you mean selling leases? How could you sell a lease? Yep, that's a mistake you've been making, not even understanding that you can sell a lease and not understanding how to know if you have equity. Paying cash for cars. If the interest rates are low, you need to be counting costs. Can I use the bank's money at a lower rate? Can I keep my money invested, making me more money? Look, not getting gap insurance when you need it is a $1,000 to $5,000 mistake. I needed gap insurance, didn't get it. Car gets totaled. Not only is my car totaled or stolen, but I got a bill coming. Look, letting a third-party restriction stopping you from selling your equity. Deshone, I got a third-party restriction. They said I can't sell it. So yeah, listen, that's just, they said you can't sell it. A third-party restriction does not mean you can't sell your lease. It limits who you can sell it to. Negotiating made-up fees. We talked about that. Ordering a vehicle without getting key things in writing. You have a vehicle that's been on order for 3 months, but you have no paperwork, no negotiated deal. You don't know what you're paying. You lost your leverage, and you're going to wait for the car to come, and then they're going to tell you, hey, this is the price. Listen, and they know you waited for it for 6 months, so they know you're not going to back out of it. So they could tell you anything, and you're going to pay it. Waiting until you need a car, 30 days or less, to start shopping. You can't say no. You're desperate. And look, if there's an emergency situation, we deal with emergency situations. Our process in my book literally takes hours, not days. Look at Ansley. Ansley got his 2024 Infiniti QX60. QX60. Look at the time frame. Look at the last sentence. First of all, look at the deal. 2024, $58,000 vehicle, $554 a month, no money down. He only gave him his first month's payment. He drove out. That's a 1% lease. I started the process Saturday, accepted a new deal Monday. They delivered the car to him on Thursday. Delivered the car to him. Look, hours. It doesn't take you to shine. Oh, man, you're going to teach us how to do this, but does it take a lot of time? Listen, I get cars in 90 minutes. You're not going to get cars in 90 minutes your first time using this. It'll take you 3 hours, 4 hours from home, though. All right, so those are the 23 mistakes. Now I'm gonna give you the 2 biggest fears. Hold on, that's people tapping in. Oh no, this is the end of these slides. All right, let me go back here. Hold on, TikTok. We flip it. If you got value out of that segment, real quick, just type $signs. Let me see $signs. I didn't plan on giving y'all that class that I was given. That literally. Hold on. Let me flip my camera. You got value out of that portion, type $signs. If you learn something about if the 8-year rule is clear to you, type dollar. I see you, MT. Let's go. I see you, Mike. All right, I see you, Dell. I see you. All right. Hold on. Okay, thank you, Gretchen. Look, she lit it up with the $signs. All right, so now what you just learned, this 8-year rule thing, forever in your mind. Forever. I see you, Darren. Forever in your mind. 8-year rule now. That's the leasing versus. As soon as you hear lease, buy, 8-year rule pops in. 8-year rule. And so now another thing I would teach in this class is hold on, let me stop sharing my screen. What is the 2 fears every single car salesperson has? The 2 fears every car salesman has. And you have to use them to your advantage. Thanks, Elmar. I see you. $signs. Shout out to the people who locked in, who got value out of what we just went over. The 2 fears. The first fear is a customer that will not come into the dealership. What is the first question when you get on the phone with any car dealership? One of the first questions they're going to try to say to you. First question. You're not even going to be on the phone with them a long time before the question comes out. What's one of the first questions you're going to hear? Anytime you're on the phone with a car dealership or a car salesman. Thank you, Carissa. When can you come in? So if a person is showing you in your early interactions, this is my intention, within a couple minutes, can you come in for a test drive? Look, exactly. So that means That's their superpower, is getting you in for a test drive. I gotta get you in. I gotta get you in. Now, that their biggest fear is a customer that they can't get in. Can't get them to come in. I can't get them to come into my house, get fascinated by all the fancy cars that a lot of other dealers have, that all my competition has. I can't get them to come in. Big fear. Big fear. Second fear is the customer who makes them compete against their competition. A customer who is making them compete against their competition. See, we've helped you. See, I've been blessed to help over 2,000 people personally in my programs. I have a Shop with Deshone program. That's where you see a lot of these people. I have a private group for people I shop with. That's my Done With You program. But then I have a Do It Yourself in my blueprint. For those of you who like, Sean, just give me the blueprint. Let me get the blueprint. Give me the exact steps. I'm gonna do it. We've got thousands of people who have my blueprint, which is my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get your copy as my welcome offer to you in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or my Facebook comments for 75% off. It's normally $97. But if you go there before 30 minutes, only 30 minutes, that's a 30-minute welcome offer. If you get there before 30 minutes, you can get it for 75% off, which is $24. So go there, grab your book, come back to the stream. You might still be able to listen to us. But the point is, I know from working with all these people over the last 3 years that 8 out of 10 dealers are not going to give you a below market deal. It doesn't matter how much you negotiate. They're not going, if the below market deal is here and let's say the starting price is here, the below market deal is here, 8 out of 10 dealers are not going to go below this. That's just where they rather sell the car to someone else. They rather sell the car to someone else. I'm not going here. Now, another dealership, what we call the 20%, will go here. So how do we get the dealers that's going to go here? We use the two biggest fears that every car salesman has. We combine them. We're not going into the dealership, and we're making them compete against their competitors, and then we're finding the 20% here. That's how you do it. So that's what my book is. My book is a system. When you're shopping for a used car, you're looking for a Honda Accord. Literally everyone who has a Honda Accord, you're making them compete with each other. Everyone that has a Honda Accord, you're making them compete. I have a system in my third step. I help you budget and know exactly what you can afford. But then I have a system where I help you see multiple goals below that. Yeah, my max goal might be I could spend, 22,300, but I help you see multiple goals, starting with a no money down goal and a short loan and all of that. Again, it's proven. Google it. You can read the reviews. You can see all the 5-star reviews. But the point is, that's how you get the below market deals. You don't get them by negotiating. You get them by making dealers compete and staying in your house for most of the process. The only time you need to be in a dealership with our process is when you're test driving or when you're picking up your car. Now, and you see in Ansley's case, they delivered the car to him. He was never even there. So everything you just learned, if you want to avoid all the rest of those mistakes, you're like, we went deep on the 8-year rule, but I went over 23 mistakes. It's like, Deshone, I couldn't go deep on those. Being a payment shopper. My book is going to help you never be a payment shopper again, because you're going to separate your loan from who you buy your car from. That's another mistake. I mentioned the 3 pillars of great car deals. Who I buy my car from, I need to get bids. Who I get my loan from, I need to get bids. Who I sell, not trade, who I sell my old car to. Lots of cash buying companies. I need to get bids. And I'm separating these transactions. I'm never mixing them. When you walk into, I got alarms going off and everything. When you walk into a dealership and you buy a car from them, get a loan from them, and trade your old car to them, you just gave them 3 transactions. No way for you to get a great deal. It's impossible. How is it impossible? You just gave them 3 transactions and you didn't bid out each one. Even if you bid out the first, it's impossible. There's money in all of them. Okay? So everything you learn to avoid these mistakes and to make sure you're getting deals like the people you saw, go to any of my pages. You'll see dozens and dozens of people who just swear by the car from home system. People like you, grandmothers, single mothers, introverts, soft-spoken people. Deshaun, I hate negotiating. This all works for you. And some negotiators, you're like, Deshaun, I negotiate for a living, but I'd rather get bids. I'm a negotiator. I can negotiate. I enjoy it. I would never negotiate for a car. I'm getting bids. And I end with this. I always compare this to like buying a product from 3 different grocery stores. You walk in, see, they've taught you, just come to the closest Nissan dealer. All the prices are the same. Come to the closest Toyota dealership. All the prices are the same. I want you to think of a product. You go into the grocery store. You go in the shop, right? You see the same product. Okay, it's $7.99 here. You go in the shop, Stop and Shop, it's $9.99. You go in the Pathmark, it's $4.99. You go in the Walmart, it's $3.79. How is the same exact product 4 different prices depending on what store you're in? Same thing with cars, but instead of the dollars, my lease over here might be $700 a month. My lease over here might be $600. Matter of fact, let me show you one more scenario just to drive this point home. Let me show you one more scenario to drive this point home. Teddy, because he laid out everything when he got his new BMW, he shared, he's like, look, he said, look, I will never, I repeat, never lease now or buy. You know, if you buy and get bids, you'll see it's the same thing. He said, I'll never do this any other way. From start to finish, it took just 6 days. Contacted 25 dealers. That's in my book. I show you how to connect with 25 dealers. Takes about 20 minutes. In 4 nearby states. He's on the Indiana border, right outside Chicago. He said, I received 10 offers. I only used the scripts and provided. Now, I got scripts, email scripts in my course, in my book, not talking scripts. I'm never going to give you talking scripts to say and go in there and now remember what Deshaun told me to say. Never. So now look, he gets a $73,000 BMW, almost $74,000, $856 a month. $856 a month. The dealer's initial offer was $937. I have a calculator in my book where you put all the offers you get in it, and then it spits out counter offers to send to them. He uses the counter offer. He ends up closing his deal at $856 a month. Now look, his highest offer, because remember what I told you, y'all learning a lot today. Remember the 80%. 8 out of 10 dealers are never going to go below this. Doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter. You're in the wrong dealer. So he said my highest offer was $1,123 a month from another dealer. There's a dealer that offered him this vehicle for $1,123. That was their best offer. His local dealer, his closest dealer to him, $986. He gets $856 a month. This is the importance of multiple offers. It's not like potato chips where it's a $2, $3, $4 difference. It's $200, $300, sometimes $400 difference. And we already know this. You are going to prove it to yourself when you use this. I see a lot of people saying, I got the book. God bless you. Use it and win. And make sure you send me your deals when you make them. Write me emails, Deshaun, check out the deal I just got. I love seeing those. I love seeing the deals you get and bringing them into the show. But go grab your book. It's my welcome offer. You won't pay $97. You got my new book for $24 as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. Cars from Home, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Use it. Everything you need is in there. This is what we do over here. Join our family, and it's people who got the book. I'm happy to have you. All right, we did something a little different today, and I enjoyed it. I hope you got a lot of value out of it, and if you were locked in, you should have got a lot of value out of it. Gretchen said, I love the counter offer calculator. I'm glad. And you know, we used to do this manually, Gretchen. There's 6 calculators in that book, either 5 or we got the counter offer calculator for leases that we invented. We got the counter offer calculator for purchases we invented. We got the perfect budget calculator for purchases. You never seen it. You can't get these the calculators alone are worth the price of the book. Just this is proprietary software. You can't Google you can't, oh, let me find this calculator on Google. It doesn't exist. The true market value, the true value calculator for used cars, this is stuff we invented. This is specific proprietary cars from home stuff. That's why I could have said, you know what, I'm gonna charge $200-300 for this book, and then the people who get it, they're gonna see this is worth every bit, because people are using the book and saving $5,000, $10,000, $8,000 and more. But I didn't want. I priced it at the welcome offer. It's the price of a regular book. But even if you missed 30-minute welcome offer, it's worth $97. It's worth $400. But I wanted to price it at $97 just to say, you know what? I got to price it somewhere so you know this ain't no regular book. The books on Amazon, when you see them, they're rare. They're $280. $400. You could tell, okay, wait a minute, these ain't no regular book. If you see them for $24, you say, okay, that's a regular book. It's not. But with the welcome offer, you can go and you can pay a regular book price. You get there before 30 minutes, it's $24. So I'm gonna jump off. God bless. 8-year rule. Step 1 in my book. Step 7's delivery. Ask yourself as you use the book, where am I at in the process? You should make sure, what step am I on? Stay on task. Don't overthink. Literally just follow my steps. Leave your strategy at the door. I don't want your strategy. Bring your goal. That's it. Deshone, I want this car. That's all we need. Don't bring no strategies over here. You got to unlearn your strategies. That's the whole point. All right, let me jump off. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all soon.